Hello.
Srejan, please start the session.
Hello. I think there's a problem with Shrezel's internet connection.
Yeah. So, okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to each and everyone uh, for joining this session. I hope you are all doing great. So, Eduhub Community is an open platform for all the students to empower each and everyone, and also to learn together. And our community is open to work with other community and peoples. Our community will not keep you updated about the latest trend and technologies, and our tagline is let's take you forward. So in order to stay updated about the latest information, to follow and stay with us, right? So today we have a special guest, Mr. Rahul Rana. So talking about Mr. Rahul Rana, he is co-founder of Community Classroom and product designer at Parallel Community, and he created UI graphics for brand like HP, Dell, Coca-Cola, Bosch, etc. So in today's gathering, Mr. Rahul Rana will be sharing his immense knowledge over UI and UX designing and importance of tech community. So, sir, over to you.
Thank you a lot, Satya. Um, I was really looking forward for this to be a more of a Q&A session, but I'll start. Hi guys, I'm Rahul Rana, and as clearly explained by Satya wonderfully, um, I'm a co-founder at Community Classroom. Me and Kunal started this organization together, and the main goal was to help every student out. No student should be left behind just because of the lack of technology or the lack of money or therefore. So that was the aim, and we are moving forward. Really, you know, it's going really nice, and collaborating with Eduhub has also been of immense importance. So if there's any questions you'd like to fire up, that would be nice. Otherwise, we can move forward to UI UX and what are the different fields in it. Okay, I think the whole flow was disturbed because of the internet issues, but that's fine. Um, I'll Saite, if you want to, you know, come out here and help out with the flow or anything.
Yeah.
Or
So basically I'm saying ki, you can start with like importance of UI UX designing and a basic roadmap for a beginner. It would be
all
helpful
right,
for us. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Um, all right. So for a UI UX designing roadmap, basically what you have to do is first of all, this is not a field जिसके अंदर you need to do a lot of courses and you need to pay for all of these courses or anything. Every information is available on YouTube, or you can even read certain books. I have a couple of books, and I can put them in the comments. They have been very helpful in my journey. So UI UX is basically it's that these are two different things, and I see people using these terms synonymously with each other, but that's not true. They're really different things. UI mainly deals with the visual things that you see. Like in a website, there are different colors. There are different according to the brand identity. So UI deals with that part, the colors, the hierarchy, the way the information is processed, and the way it's organized. And these little things such as how much the white space is going to be, how are the things going to be aligned. So that's all completely a part of UI. It's user interfaces. Now coming to UX, UX is more of it doesn't involve as much design as much it requires thinking and product thinking. Basically what you have to do is you have to empathize with the user. You have to understand what is the user who is going to use this particular app or product, whatever it is, and you have to think about the experience that they're going to have. For example, if you're going to a website and the website just puts buttons to log in, and there's nothing clearly explaining what the website is about, so that's going to create a very bad user experience, right? You'll be lost. You wouldn't know what kind of a website you've come on, right? So that's the part that deals with the user experience, and it should not be confused with UI. And also I've seen a lot of people choosing one of these different roles, and however a lot of people do know about UI UX, and both they are mainly better suited for product designing. Product designing is a field that has both of them, plus you have a lot of interaction with clients, and you need to talk to stakeholders, and you need to understand what the product is about, what are everybody's expectations. So that's what product designing is. So it is basically has subset of UX and UI both inside the product design. Yeah, so people try to choose both of them, but I've seen people who are successful choosing any one of UI or UX. And I myself have had offers. Quite it's a quite lucrative field, and the only problem is that not a lot of students know about this. That's the only problem. I mean, even when I was in first year, I was very creative, and I wanted to do something like that, but I did not even know that a field like this exists for me. And I try to push myself into web development, and I really love the front end part. I still do. I still code for people. The front end, I still code using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, a little bit of React. But yeah, designing is what I was really passionate about, but I just didn't know what to do, and I didn't even know if it's a valuable path for me in future. But the times have changed. There are a lot of resources for everybody. You can even go out to YouTube and watch videos, and most of the people who are interested are here, and they can you know know about UI UX. So Yeah, I've seen people getting 12 to 14 lakhs per annum in UI UX as a fresher. You know, it's all about where you stand, how much you practice, and it's, as I said, it's a very lucrative field, and you have to make a decision. You cannot just, wait for things to happen. You need to learn about more things. You need to go to seminars, webinars, or even watch YouTube videos to find out what suits best for you. Perhaps UI UX both, or maybe you're just interested in UX. So all of these fields are great, and you should have a look into it, definitely, because it's it's a very lucrative field.
As a freshers, job opportunities, like what kind of job they can grab, and the placement procedure for UI UX designer.
Yeah, as I said, there are plenty of opportunities, and a fresher can even grab about 12 to 14 lakhs per annum. I've seen people even only in UX, they don't even specialize in user interfaces, and they get pretty nice jobs. Also, okay, so there are basically two things that you need to, get a bag a job for UI UX or both roles. One of them is to have a portfolio. You need to have a portfolio. That's a must. um, I cannot emphasize more on this. You need to have a portfolio, everything that you worked on at a single place. uh, People use Dribble, sometimes they use Behance, or I would suggest that you make your own website that would also reflect your web development skills. And that's, the more skills you have, the more the merrier. But yeah, you should have a portfolio. The second thing that you need to do is keep applying for jobs. Internshala, LinkedIn, get connections, and just basically hustle out there. That's the second thing you need to do. Constantly look for opportunities, apply to them. Don't think that Microsoft के अंदर करके क्या करना, Microsoft में नहीं होगा. Everything is an experience, right? You will learn from everything. So just apply. Okay? And also, I'd also recommend to talk to different designers. Give them your work, show them your portfolio, ask them for feedback, because UI UX is a field just can that you have to be blunt. If anybody asks me for their feedback, I just bluntly tell them the things that are wrong, the things that they did right. Because if you it's subjective. There are no correct options, there are no right options or wrong options. So you need to have a lot of different feedback from different people, and then you have to make the choice, what is the best feature or what is the best feedback that you got, and you need to implement them throughout your designs. um Again, it's a career that you will have to grow each day, every day. The first wireframes I made were really, really bad, and even the visual screens that I made for the first time, they looked so terrible, and I was like, I can never do this. But you learn, you grow every single day. And if you're going to practice for 2 straight months, I mean, there's no way you're not going to get good at it. I mean, that's how things work. You practice, and then you get good at it. I think there are questions. Which is the best used YouTube channel to learn UI and UX design? Well, there are different channels. You can even go to Adobe's. They show hands-on approach. They have a hands-on approach. They use their Adobe XD software, and then they show you the different kinds of designs and templates that you can create in it. No, it's not in Hindi, but for Hindi, I would say it's Chalukya. That's a channel called Chalukya, and it's really nice. Also in Hindi, I I believe there's another channel called Sandeep. I'm not sure with the name. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the comments for you. I believe he does everything in Hindi, as far as I can remember. English. For English, again, Adobe ke products, Adobe ke channel, it's very nice. You'll get to learn a lot. And I personally used that channel as well. And after that, I moved to Figma. So Figma is also Figma is a software, and they also have a YouTube channel just in that they've explained their tools very well, and most of design principles as well. So it's again, it's not a field जिसके अंदर YouTube की videos देखकर 100 videos देखें, and then you will feel confident कि now I'm ready to apply to a job. The more hands-on experience you have, it's better. So do that. Again, I'll recommend that over videos. So yeah, बाकी community classroom तो है ही. You can join the community classroom. वहाँ पर we talk a lot about UI UX. We have our own little group जिसके अंदर we talk about designs, we share art stuff, and people share even music. So that's a community where you can learn more. So do join community classroom as well. What strategies should I approach to learn UI UX design? Yeah, as I said, पहले कुछ basic design principles. If you are familiar with them, then you don't need to, just go again and watch all of these. But if you are not very comfortable or very, you know, um, confident about your design principles, you should watch some design principles videos, and that should get you going. Or uske baad, you should watch Adobe ka channel or Figma ka channel, whatever you find the best. I mean, they have different approaches. Figma ke andar they break a feature, and then us feature ke upar they create the videos. In Adobe, they choose a product, and then they create the whole user experience and user interface around that. So these are two different videos, and both of them are important. Just go with what you find more comfortable in starting May, and after that move on to the other one. So that should be your approach. And after watching the video, just straightly dive into Figma or XD and just make whatever you can. जितना ज़्यादा सोच कर सकते हो. The second thing is also sketching. You should also try sketching. I mean, not drawings, but sketch mobile apps. Look out for different apps. WhatsApp के अंदर जाकर देखो कि how does WhatsApp implement a feature. जैसे search का feature है, where is the search button? If you want to start a new chat, how do you do that? I mean, they have a little button on the right bottom corner to start a new chat, I think. So there are different ways to implement a single feature. They could have also done ki right corner ke andar wo jo three dots hote hain, go to that menu and then do a new chat, but that would take a lot of steps, और सबको पता नहीं होगा कि new chat ऐसे start कर सकते हैं. So there are different features. Analyze current apps कि कौन सी apps कैसे use करती हैं, और also judge them कि क्या वो ठीक से कर रही हैं, because a lot of times, as I said earlier, there are no right or wrong answers. So you'll find a lot of apps जो इन features को wrongly use कर रही हैं. Like a couple of years back, I noticed Facebook के अंदर भी they were using the hamburger menu to just put a lot of content inside it, and it was hiding the usability, the features of the app, and the usability was very bad. So even Facebook, such a big organization, you wouldn't expect anything from them, uh, any mistakes from them, but itni simple mistake they made, right? And since then they've created a very nice user experience, but still market ke andar, if you see, look at them, Facebook ka user interface is not very good even right now. So that's something you need to look out for. Understand ki reference अच्छी कौन सी है, गंदी कौन सी है. I wouldn't recommend Facebook. Instagram is nice. LinkedIn is getting better. It's definitely a lot better than Facebook. Yeah. So that's all. References are very important as well. Can I get a remote job as a UI UX. Yeah, definitely. Remote jobs can that people thrive in UI UX. I also did a lot of remote work. I'm even currently doing. I'm working on the Coven platform for India. So that's also remote work currently because of the pandemic. But yeah, remote works are definitely available in UI UX, and even more so than coding. Or I'll say almost as much as coding. You can also I also had a account on Fiverr, if anybody knows, for freelancing. So you can also do that. People make a lot of money through that. Also, that's also a very lucrative option. Um, you can work whenever you find the time, and it's easy to work for them. And starting May, you'll have to grab some community respect or points, so you may have to work for a little less money, but as you keep progressing, you'll keep gaining that momentum and the trust of the people on Fiverr or any other freelancing market that you have created your account on. So yeah, remote work is काफी ज़्यादा available in UI UX. There's a lot of that. Is it necessary to know web development like HTML, CSS to get it? No, it's not necessary, not at all. As I can make wireframes and prototypes in XD, but cannot development. Yeah, as I said, UX UI is a different field from web development. But अगर तुम बाहर की companies में कहीं apply करते हो, like Europe or even Canada, they will expect you to know a little bit of HTML, CSS, but again, that's only specific to the job requirement. So when you're applying for a job, they will specifically mention कि HTML चाहिए या नहीं चाहिए. In about 80 to 90%, 80 to 85% of the jobs, you do not require any coding at all, right? Making prototypes, making wireframes, understanding user base, and finding out problems, thinking about pain points, collaborating with your team. That's the only skill you need for UI UX. You don't need any coding. Baki, if you do have skills in coding, that's always a plus point. You can always have that 10% extra market to apply to. Baki, you have the 85-90% market to yourself without coding as well. So it's no issue. UI UX is everything. Hi, I'm confused. Does UI UX are for mobile apps only? This is Joy from India. No. UI UX is not for mobile only. UI UX can also be implemented in every aspect of a life. I mean, not only web or mobile, but also designing products. As I said, I'm a product designer. So everything, every decision that I make for the product, how it's going to be developed, it's it's inspired, and somewhat it's related to UX and UI. So basically, it can be applied to laptops. Like I can give you an example. If you have a laptop's edge as very pointy, like you must remember कि पहले जो laptops आते थे, they had very pointy edges. And since then we have realized कि laptops curves should be very smooth, and वो चुभने नहीं चाहिए. That create a better user experience. So that is something which is also inspired by user experience, that falls into the category of product design. So once you have some relevant experience in UX UI and in industrial design or interaction design, then you can go for these roles as well, right? So yeah, user experience can be applied to anything, even jobs, shops के अंदर. Shopping malls is a very good example. जब तुम shopping mall के अंदर घुसते हो, there are different categories of different items in different shelves, right? And if anything that a small kid would want, it's always in the lower part of the shelf, right? ताकि जो भी बच्चा जाए, he or she can just look or just pick things up from the bottommost shelf, and then it increases sales. So yeah, that's also a good example of UX that you can find in shops. Other than that, जब आप checkout कर रहे होते हो, you'll find कि toffees and all of these little stuff like toffees or bubble gums or even lollipops and these candies, they're always in the checkout counter. That's because that those things are always in the least priority for you, so nobody goes to get them specifically out of the shelf shopping mall mein. But while you're checking out, agar tumhara dhyan jata hai, तो you may want some, or the kid may want some, and they'll ask ki, mom, I want that. So that is something jo UX के से ही inspired है. So yes, UI UX is everything. I mean, literally everything. You can apply that too. Mm, Figma versus Adobe XD. Which one is better and to choose as a beginner? Um, this is a this is a question that has started a lot of debates. काफी ज़्यादा लड़ाई भी हुई है designers के बीच में on this question. But I'll suggest कि Figma is better. It's totally free. It's totally on it. If the storage is totally on the cloud, even in Adobe XD, I think most of the storage is on the cloud. But I'm not sure if you have to pay for that. But the last time I checked, Adobe XD was free for personal use. But currently, Figma is the option that most of the people choose. It's kind of an industry standard. Sorry. Most of the places that I've worked at, they use Figma, and I'd recommend to use that as a fresher. But then again, अगर Adobe XD कहीं पर चाहिए होता है, so that's also, I mean, the tools are almost same. अगर तुम्हारे को Figma आता है, then you won't have any problem to transition into XD. So yeah, I'll suggest कि Figma से start करो. बाकी even if you're doing Adobe XD, don't leave that. Utilize the tool in its full potential. सब कुछ देखो कि क्या क्या कर सकते हैं Adobe XD के अंदर भी, because Figma is almost the same. So yeah, I've been learning to use Figma since it's free. Yeah, it's it's easily available. So I think that's the better option as well. Plus, it's industry standard, as I said.
Yeah, guys. If you have any other question, please put it on chat. Otherwise, we will move on to our next topic, that is community work.
Uh, I saw a question regarding placements, I think. Maki, this is a very common question ki UI UX designers get paid less. So that myth is already gone. वो तो मैं बता चुका हूँ starting में ही. I've seen people who don't even design things or prototype. They just have experience in user experience, right? सिर्फ UX के field में भी they've got 12 to 14 lakh packages as a fresher. So you should not be very concerned about opportunities. Opportunities बहुत हैं, and Steve Jobs and Johnny Ive have done a very good job in showing the importance of design. I think Apple was the first company to reach a trillion trillion dollar evaluation, I think. Yeah, so you can see उनका fan base कितना ज़्यादा strong है, how wholeheartedly people like that. So Steve Jobs and Johnny Ive have done a very nice work on importance of design, and it's only because of design that they've come this far. So India के अंदर भी this field is starting to revolutionize. People are starting to understand the importance of design, and they're starting to understand that design is not just what it visually looks like, it's how it works. And it's more of a psychological thing as well. So yeah. I'm from Nigeria, and I have been trying to apply for some internship and job in India. No luck. Um, okay, so this is very vague, and I don't know what the problem is. But what you have to do is always have different resumes, all right, while applying, and you have to try different things. Apply with a single resume to a lot of companies, and then see how it's doing. Then apply from a slightly tweaked resume. Try to include more relevant keywords. I mean, if you know Figma, try to include keywords that are related to Figma and what the company may want. Like you can incorporate keywords like auto layouts, right? And I mean, these are the things that a company looks for. You can include terms like product thinking, right? You can even if you're not very experienced, right, you can create your own portfolios. You can just make your own case studies and then mention them on your resume. I mean, there are a lot of different ways to get your first job. And what I would recommend is ki don't stick to a single option. Create a lot of resumes, create a lot of portfolios, and do case studies. Keep learning, watch videos, talk to people ki how they got their first job, because getting that first job is very hard, but it's also very crucial, because that's what builds your confidence. अगर तुमको first job के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा problem हो रही है, during that first job your confidence is going to decrease in yourself, which should not be the case, because currently there is a lot of competition in the market. In India there's not a lot of competition, but still you need to try different things. That's the only way you can push through. So I'm a front end developer and a UI designer. um I don't see why you wouldn't get a job. I mean, these are the skills that the market goes for. I mean, these are the relevant things. Front end developer in what? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or do you even know React? Do you have a portfolio, or have you had previous experience? Have you had internships? Do you have anything to show? Or I mean, there are a lot of factors. So we can talk about this, I mean, for 12 hours, and it still wouldn't be exhausted. The topic is huge.
That's great. I know React and Next.js.
Okay, definitely
It's
the
correct.
things that you're mentioning, these are what the market looks for. But I believe then the problem would be in your resume or your portfolio. So you need to look at that. Are you presenting things that are relevant to the companies? I mean, uh, if you are applying for a job in a product based company which has its own product, then you also need to emphasize on your product thinking skills, right? If you are applying for a design consultancy company, you need to show them that you can think of different designs. You can think of a food ordering app. You can think about, you have the skills to think about a shopping app like Amazon. You can also think about booking show like Book My Show. I mean, these are the different things. If you're applying for a design consultancy, you need to show that you can think about different products. If you're applying for a product based company, you need to show them that you understand the current base, you understand what are they offering. And I mean, again, it's a very vast topic, and you have to do the case study. Nobody is going to help you in that. You need to learn about the company and then apply accordingly.
Yeah, awesome. I think we should forward in our next topic. Like that is the tech community, importance of tech community. Right. So yeah, if you can elaborate about why a student can join tech community, what's the importance role? Yeah, if you can some elaborate.
Yep. Um, I've had okay. So when I was in first year, I was completely lost. I had a couple of senior friends who told different things. I mean, vastly different things. It wasn't like do this, do that, or somebody else says a subset of that. I mean, they were very, very completely different from each other. And koi kehta tha cyber security kar lo. That's the only thing that's relevant now. Some people used to say ki web development kar lo. The other one would say web development to khatam ho chuki hai. You need to go into data science. So different people have different experience, right? So they're only going to talk about the experience that they have had. That was one thing which took me quite a lot of time to understand. And once I understood that, it took me relatively less time to choose the field that I wanted. And I mean, these are your testing years. जो तुमने इंटर्नशिप फर्स्ट ईयर में करी है, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी लाइक फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ तुम वही करते जा रहे हो. So what you have to do is you have to plan, you have to structure your first year, and you have to think about different areas that you can apply for, right? अगर तुम्हारा थोड़ा भी creativity का मन है, if you are a little bit creative, if you like to design things, I say go for graphic designing. That's the easiest you can break into. And once you do graphic designing, you can easily transition into UI UX, right? So graphic designing के अंदर तुम posters वगैरह बना सकते हो. As a fresher, directly even in first year, मतलब अगर तुम first year के अंदर आ रहे हो, you don't have any portfolio, you have nothing, and then you suddenly think कि मैं product designer बन जाऊंगा. That's not going to happen. You have to do in small steps. And yeah, I'd suggest कि graphic designing के अंदर जाओ and learn from them, ask them about their experience, how you can apply in UI UX. They will guide you as they did me. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have you know a good internship in my first year, and उसके बाद से I've had I mean, I've only interacted with people who have helped me a lot. I've never experienced anything bad. So yeah, but अगर उस time community होती कोई, like a community classroom or Eduhub, so that would have helped a lot. I mean, काफी ज़्यादा सर दर्द बच जाता, and a lot of time would have, I would have saved a lot of time. But these things are available now, or I think you need to maximize the chances. You need to make as much use of them as you can, because these things are great. कोरा के ऊपर कोई भी लिख कर चला जाता है, कुछ भी लिख देते हैं. So I wouldn't recommend that. Communities join करो, talk to people, and find out if they are saying things. I mean, LinkedIn के ऊपर उनकी प्रोफाइल चेक करो. Are they legit? Do they have that experience? अगर अगर किसी ने आज तक कोई डिजाइनिंग की जॉब नहीं करी और वो तुमको कह रहा है कि डिजाइनिंग के अंदर कुछ रखा ही नहीं है, so if that person has never done designing, so how can he even advise you for it or against it? But the sad reality is that people do that. So you need to hustle, you need to be a part of community, you need to learn from experience and others experience. That is the best option you have right now.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for answering the question, sir. Yeah.
And
So,
you don't have
guys,
to
if
call
you
me
have any
sir
type of question
again, as I
regarding
said.
community, yeah, no issue. Guys, if you have any kind of question regarding community, so please comment down below. Rahul Bhaiya will answer that. This is a
Yep,
Q&A
yep.
round type session. Yeah. They don't have any kind of question. Okay.
I think community के ऊपर people are solved. I mean, everyone who is joining is already a part of community, so I don't think they'll have, much questions for that.
Yeah. Okay, everyone also focusing on web development. It's a मतलब
Yeah.
सब लोग वेब डेवलपमेंट करना चाहते हैं.
Hmm. Yeah, because that's also a lucrative field, web development के अंदर. But
Yeah.
what you have to think is कि if you are a creative person, like you like designing, you like talking to people, you know, so UI UX is a very nice field to start in, and then you can transition into web development as you progress in your career. Because a good UI UX designer, the amount of money that a good UI UX designer can make is a lot more than what an average web developer can make, right? So web developer, अगर तुम बहुत बिल्कुल टॉप फील्ड के बनते हो, you know everything about every technology. I mean, most of the technology you wouldn't know everything, but yeah, to get that you have to pass a lot of competition. But if you're already a little good in UI UX and then you push a little bit harder, you're already in that above 90% people, right? So uske andar excel karna is easier than breaking into web development without any experience. Plus UI UX is closely related to web development. So if you feel comfortable, and in 2 years, 3 years, you'll have a lot of experience in UI UX, and in even in front end, I'd say. Or you can use that experience and leverage that experience to get a better job. So I think that's always a nice roadmap to follow.
There is a question from Sri Lakshmi. Yeah.
What kind of tools do UI UX designers use in companies? Um, Again, we have talked about this, but for UX designing, you mainly need a management type of tools like Trello or Notion, if anybody is familiar with that. Notion, Notion, and TRELLO, Trello. So these are the two apps that for remote work. I'm talking about remote work. But now, if you're working in a single office, then all you need is sticky notes. Everybody works on a whiteboard together. But if you are working remotely, so these are the two things that you need to create user map, user journeys. You need to make sure that you have everything noted down, and never delete anything. Archive कर सकते हो, कर लेना, because you are 100% going to need that thing again. जो तुम्हारे को इस वक्त गंदी लगेगी, you will cry for it रात को 2 बजे कि I need a fallback plan and मेरे को वापस वहां जाना है. And if you find yourself कि तुमने वो चीज delete कर दी थी, you're going to cry a lot. A lot of time would be wasted. So never delete anything. Always archive and create your user maps. जो तुम सोच रहे हो वो भी अपने साथ साथ ideas के नीचे लिखते रहो कि what are the things that you are solving for. The most important thing is to find problems. Like these are the only things that brain, the power of imagination. That's all you need in UI. Anything else, and Figma is totally free, so that's also a good thing. One thing I wanted to emphasize on was कि problems ढूंढना is more important than creating good visuals. I mean, WhatsApp would not have been successful अगर वो starting में ही बहुत ज़्यादा fancy और बिल्कुल glittery दिखता, एकदम बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा visual UI होता. I mean, it would have been good, but अगर उसके अंदर तुम send नहीं कर सकते थे अपने friend को picture, like usability is more important than UI, right? अगर तुम्हारे पास एक ऐप है जो बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी दिखती है, but who is going to download that? लेकिन अगर तुम्हारी ऐप है which is okay to use and but it has a lot of functionality, then that's very important. So these are the business problems that you can solve with UX, like Signal is doing. Signal ke paas, they have nothing else to offer more than WhatsApp than just security. And most people don't give a damn about security. I mean, only a few people think about security or the things that uh, Facebook is going to use. So Signal they're not going to be successful unless they offer something new. So that's the UX part. You need to have new things, you need to have new stuff to, and which is better than their competitors. But now everybody's chill with WhatsApp. Kyun use kare Signal, right? Can you tell what kinds of jobs in tech field are going to decreasing in the coming years? Because I'm confused on which field I have to focus on. Um, these I don't think you need. I mean, the approach that you are taking currently is कि किस field के अंदर सबसे ज़्यादा पैसा है, which field is the most lucrative. And I get that कि it might be tempting to do that right now because I've done that a lot. Um, but in the long run, I think you should focus on finding what suits the best for you. I mean, I would just go out and say कि data science is really nice. Data science के अंदर बहुत सारी opportunities है, and I can go on about data science for a long period of time. But is it the right field for you? I mean, nobody can tell that. किसी भी field के अंदर, if you are in the top 10 percentage, like if you beat the 90% of people, you are in the 90% percentile range, वो field is best for you. That's what I would say. अगर वेब डेवलपमेंट तुम अच्छी कर सकते हो, then that's the best field for you. These jobs are never going to be, you know, कि वेब डेवलपर की वो जॉब ही नहीं मिल रही है. An experienced, a good web developer is always going to get a job, always. And there's no such thing as decrease in market. I mean, uh, okay, there are some things that are more relevant at times, but जावा कब से बोल रहे हैं लोग कि जावा इज गोइंग टू डाई, जावा इज गोइंग टू डाई. 10 साल तो मेरे को हो चुके हैं सुनते हुए. द ट्रू थिंग इज कि जावा के अंदर अभी भी इतनी सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, एंड there has never been a day better to start learning Java. So don't go after these things. Just find what you do the best, and uske andar you are always going to excel. You are always going to get a better pay than most of the people, right? ये सारे क्वेश्चंस देख के मुझे अपनी याद आती है. I used to go into seminars and ask these questions, and boy, I was so wrong. And I was like, मुझे बस आंसर बताओ ना यार, ये सब क्यों कर रहे हो? Just tell me what is the best field and I'll do that. But तुम 2 दिन मोटिवेटेड रहोगे, 3 रहोगे, 4 दिन रहोगे, फिर नहीं कर पाओगे. That's the thing. Yeah, yes, just the hype messenger, like someone said. अगर लोग ऑलरेडी कोई प्रोडक्ट अच्छा यूज कर रहे हैं, then why are they going to do that? So these are interesting problems, or you have to find case studies, and this is what product designers do. They see different apps, they see कि best feature कौन सा है ऐप का. Like WeChat के अंदर एक feature था जिसके अंदर you could shake your phone and uh, it would connect you with other people who were shaking their phone at the same time. That was a feature, that was a killer feature in WeChat. I mean, nobody else did that. But agar WhatsApp wo us time kar leta, it would have been a much better social networking app. Currently, it's just to talk to the people who you already know, who you already have contact. लेकिन अगर वो feature WhatsApp early adopt कर लेता, then the user base would have been tremendous. I mean, what they're currently trying to do is कि incorporate करना चाह रहे हैं Facebook, Instagram, every messenger app into one. तो अगर ये फीचर वो पहले implement कर चुके होते, then currently what they're doing would have been a lot easier. And I'm sure ये चीजें वापस देखते हुए, पीछे देखते हुए बहुत ज्यादा easy लगती हैं, लेकिन at the moment किसी को पता नहीं था कि this is what they'll do in future. So you need to have a team of product designers, UX designers to understand कि आगे कैसे apps को design कर सकते हैं. Like what can the flow be? what can the features be. So again, ये हमेशा relevant रहेगा market में, so you can always go for this. Does Flutter have better market demand than React Native for UI? Um, I I'm not the person who can answer this. I only know React, and Flutter is something that I think I've struggled with. I mean, I don't like the way it looks or the user experience. I don't like the user experience of Flutter, so I never used it. Baki, there are channels that can nudge you in the right direction, but I'm not the person to tell you that.
Yeah, awesome. Uh, Too much questions are there. Okay, so guys, if you have any type of odd questions, then please comment down, right? Otherwise, we will end up the session here.
How it will be if we take a good features of all chatting apps and we made it. Um, यही करते हैं हम. I mean, this is basically the job, because हर एक अच्छा फीचर तुम्हारी ऐप के लिए अच्छा नहीं होगा. I mean, also, like, okay, let's take an example. Snapchat came out with stories. ठीक है, snaps, ठीक है, and stories. Nobody else had stories. Nobody else had stories. Instagram quickly adopted stories, जैसे कि उनका खुद का ओरिजिनल आइडिया था. Nobody batted an eye. ठीक है, एंड देन फेसबुक पे आ गई, और फिर व्हाट्सएप पर आ गई, एंड सून इनफ व्हाट्सएप के ऊपर एड्स भी आने लग जाएंगी ऐसे ही स्टोरीज के थ्रू, राइट? सो फीचर चुरा तो लिया साफ साफ. आई मीन, दिस इज व्हाट मार्केट डज. आई मीन, बेसिकली वॉच डिफरेंट थिंग्स, फाइंड आउट व्हाट इज वर्किंग. अगर वो तुम्हारा खुद का आइडिया है, देन तुमको टेस्ट करने पड़ते हैं. बट इफ इट इज सम कॉम्पिटिटर्स ऐप, देन वो उसको उठा के अपने में रख लेते हैं एंड दे यूज इट लाइक इट्स देयर्स. तो यू नीड बेटर डिजाइनर्स टू कम अप विद बेटर सॉल्यूशंस, वरना यही कॉपी पेस्ट ही चलता रहेगा हर टाइम. सारे यही सोचेंगे कि हम क्यों ना सारे अच्छी चीजें उठा के नई ऐप बना दें. या सो दिस इज व्हाई वी नीड बेटर डिजाइनर्स, इसीलिए डिमांड है.
Yeah. So,
Copy pasting
uh,
is a skill actually that is required by most of the companies. No.
that's the thing, copy pasting. Yeah, there are no
Okay,
questions. Okay.
I think ये थोड़ा गलत वे में ले सकते हैं लोग copy pasting को. I would explain a little better, because copy pasting, what I mean by copy pasting is कि जैसे stories वाला example है. Stories are in the forms of circles, or it takes a horizontal way. ठीक है, horizontal के अंदर you can scroll horizontally all the stories, and most of the apps use it this way. WhatsApp use करता है vertically. Yeah. तो अगर मैं कार्ड्स बना दूं इंस्टाग्राम के अंदर, इफ rather than doing circles that we can scroll horizontally, मैं कार्ड्स बना दूं स्टोरीज के, then the downside to that is कि एक बारी में मैं एक ही स्टोरी देख पाऊंगा. I wouldn't be able to see कि और किसकी स्टोरी है until and unless I remove that story, right? So these are the usability things, and I'm sure people have worked a lot on it, and इसीलिए इतने सारे, I mean, a good design, एक good design की ये पहचान है कि you will be the first one to adopt it, but once you do, every other competitor will just copy paste that single feature. So that is a very good, what you can say, pehchan of a good design. I can't come up with an English word for that.
Yeah. Okay. I think the session is very good and very interactive. Bhaiya explained everything very well. Okay. So I think we wrap up the session, guys. What you are saying? If you guys don't have any type of questions, then we can wrap up the session. I think they don't have any
I
type
think
of
आज
question. Okay.
mostly सब कुछ आंसर हो गया होगा. um,
We
I try to answer everything जो भी मैंने मेरे दिमाग में आते थे पहली चीजें. I try to explain everything thoroughly. So yeah.
Okay then. So thank you, Bhaiya, for this session. It's a wonderful session, and thanks every participant for joining this session. So we wrap up the session here. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Bhaiya, for this session.
Thank you, Saitya, for having me. It
Yeah,
was lovely. Thanks a lot again.
yeah,
It was nice, interactive, and again, please join communities. Please find experience. Please join
yeah.
Community Classroom, an initiative by me and Kunal. Please join Eduhub. They are doing wonderful work, and I was very happy when they reached out for this session. Um, keep it up, Eduhub, and keep it up, Saitya. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bhaiya.